Guten Tag and welcome to another German Tech Guys video. This is my current desk setup, and although it looks pretty fancy to my eyes, it has one fatal flaw yours probably has as well. It lacks a decent monitor stand. You might be surprised about that claim, as monitor stands aren't really considered essential for a desk setup. There are tons of monitor models out there, and even the fancy ones usually don't feature decent height adjustment, which is odd because it seems so basic when you think about it. Why should you always strain your neck and look down at your monitors, especially when you have invested money in a nice desk and a decent chair? Right, you shouldn't. And that's why in this video I'm going to review my new monitor stand, the Arctic Z2 3D. When it comes to monitor stands, there are different approaches out there. From very basic ones, which pretty much only have height adjustment but can be had very cheap, to very expensive ones that can almost overwhelm you with their adjustability but also their price. The Arctic Z2 3D doesn't really fit into any of these categories because while it doesn't compromise on adjustability, it still is pretty affordable. 89.90 euros is what I paid for, to be specific. But can it be any good when other stands with comparable features sell for 200 euros and more? Sometimes much more. To be fair, there are a few Chinese models out there that are even cheaper than this one, and some of those even have pretty positive reviews. But I didn't really want to take the risk and went with a branded model. So let's have a look at some things in the box. For starters, we have the desk mount, which just clamps to your table and includes a USB 3.0 hub. It can apparently attach to tables of varying thickness from 2 cm to 6.5 cm. There's also the option of mounting the stand to your desk through a hole instead. Next we have the chrome center mounting pole. Then we have this thingy here that clamps to the pole and that the arms themselves attach to. And then obviously we have the arms themselves, which consists of an upper and a lower arm with a joint in the middle. The upper arm also includes a gas lift for very quick and easy height adjustments. We also have this collection of screws, which include the ones you'll need to attach your monitor to the VESA mount. And finally we have this power cord, which can be used to give external power to the USB hub. Though there is no power adapter included, so you will have to use your old phones or tablets one. And now it's assembling time. The stand includes some sort of cable management in the form of these brackets on the upper arm, this cable channel on the lower arm, and a cable clamp on the pole. The strength of the gas lifts can be adjusted via this screw to match the weight of your monitor. You may have to fiddle around with it a little bit until your monitor stays where you want it, but once figured out, it gives you great flexibility in terms of height adjustment. And there we have it. Once fully assembled, you gain the freedom of positioning your monitor basically wherever you want, which obviously improves ergonomics, but for me it also gives me the ability to finally make use of my two monitors when working on my laptop. Before I had to place the laptop in front of the smaller monitor and was left with the big one and the laptop screen to work on. This new setup definitely comes in handy when working with software like Audition or Premiere. But I'm sure there are also tons of other use cases for it. Also, the included USB hub is definitely a bonus. While I first thought it might give the stand a cheap appeal, I have to say that didn't turn out to be true due to the base's solid metal construction. It turned out that my built-in monitor stands couldn't be completely removed, and so I'm left with this abomination. The new stand is very stable when it comes to dealing with vertical impacts, but starts wobbling a little when hit with an horizontal impact, which unfortunately is the more common one, as it can easily happen when you hit the desk with your chair's armrests. In conclusion, I have to say that I'm greatly impressed by the improved ergonomics and the flexibility the Z2 3D has brought to my setup, and I can't really complain about the build quality, which is more than adequate for the price, and although it feels a little wobbly when adjusting, which also was my biggest concern beforehand to be honest, I've quickly adapted to that because in reality you're not really adjusting it too often, and once in place it's definitely sturdy enough. When adjusting you have to manhandle it a little, which makes very fine adjustments a little tricky sometimes, but still possible. Also keep in mind that all its magic takes up some space, and if your desk is standing against a wall and isn't very deep, that might be a problem for you. In return, it obviously frees up a lot of space beneath your monitors, and it's also a lot easier to quickly wipe down your desk this way. If you don't really need all that adjustability, you can go with a more basic design and you might have an even sturdier solution that also takes up less space. But if you want the option to just easily lift up your monitor to place your laptop beneath it, pull it closer or push it further away and swivel it occasionally, and basically wanted to easily adapt to a bunch of different use cases, there's no real way around it having a more complex construction, and the Arctic Z2 3D definitely gets the job done in a manner you can't really complain about, for a very good price. If you want to adjust your monitors multiple times a day, I'd suggest you invest a little more though.